In this video, we will see how to send an automatic email to a visitor who fills out a registration form on our website built on Framework. First of all, of course, we need to build the form. Let's go inside the website in the left sidebar and look for forms. Here, we should simply add a new form or modify an existing form if we have previously created one. Let's create, for example, a new form, click on Add, and we can also import a form if needed. Demo, such as the form, contacts, that will pre-fill all the sections for us, including, indeed, the generation of fields. For example, by entering name, input, text, etc. We can also add the surname, surname, input text. We can set the required fields, and then we can also add the email, specifically the type of input. We can choose email so that Framework360 will check the validity of the email. We also set this as required, and we could also add a message since it is a contact form input. We can add a text area and set it as required. The placeholder, for example, is what appears in transparency and suggests to the visitor what to enter in that specific input. For example, enter the last name, enter the first name. Finally, we simply need to specify what should appear on the submit button. In this case, send request. Great, okay. We will have our form ready. Let's name it contact, ne? Form, located, yeah? Among the actions, as we can see in the second tab, we can choose to register the client who leaves their data. Obviously, it will automatically record everything in the client's module here. On the left, we simply need to map the name with the name, the last name with the last name, the email with the email. If we have added other fields in the first tab, we could also map the mobile phone, the website, the date of birth, if necessary indeed. If we request them in the billing data form, etc., we obviously refer to the tutorial dedicated to forms to understand how this module works as a whole. In this tutorial, indeed, we were seeing how to ensure that the form, in addition to allowing us to receive a request with the customer's data, also sends an automatic response, as we see in this action to the customer who fills out the form. So we will activate it for receiving the request if we want to, indeed, receive a request. Here too, the dedicated action will open. We map name with name, surname with surname, email with email. Furthermore, obviously, there will also be the body of the request because we added the text area in the first tab, and we will need to map it with the body of the request. Very well, in practice. Currently, for the actions we have inserted, the customer will fill out our form by entering the name, the surname, etc. As we can see, Framework360 will automatically register the customer's personal data. We will find it inside the customer module, and it will send us an email with all the customer's data and their request to the email address we have set in the configuration settings. As we can see, here is the email. And then, if we want to have an automatic email sent to the customer who fills out the form, we simply need to click on Activate on Send. Automatic response, scroll down, and here too we will have activated the dedicated section, as we can see, sending settings, automatic response, recipient's name. We map it with the name of the person who fills out the form, obviously the recipient's email. Obviously, it must be the email that the customer entered in the form. And then as a subject, we could decide, for example, thank you for your request. We could also insert a reply to address. This means that when the customer replies to this automatic notification they might reply to another address, an email that is not the sending one, which we can find under configuration. As the sender's name, indeed, we could decide to insert a name different from the one that appears in the configuration, in this case, tutorial. In this case, let's leave everything as it is. And we can go ahead and create our automatic email, which will be sent automatically when the customer registers the form. Click on Add a Row, and the usual Framework360 visual builder will open. And here we can insert, for example, our logo, as we can see. We can also move it to the center if needed. And then we can insert text. Let's put a text editor here, and here we can write thank you. Obviously, it must be a name generated automatically based on who fills it out, because otherwise, we would always have to insert a different name. We put a space for you to contact us. We will reply as soon as possible. And if we want, here we could also insert a marketing strategy that says, meanwhile, check out our offer dedicated to you. And we could insert a link, www.dedicatedoffer.com, which could potentially be the link to the landing page of our offer. Obviously here we should also insert a link, display text, and then we click save. This way the link will be clickable. We save it, as we can see. In fact, once this form is filled out, we can also attach files. We can add a personalized message after it is sent. In this case, it's not necessary. We can save and we will simply need to add the form we just created, called contact form, website to our website demo that we built for this tutorial. We go into the pages, site, web, pages, and possibly here we create a new page called contacts. And here we could add a row. We look for the form, place the form block on the page, and very simply, we will just need to select it. Contact form website, here it is. First name, last name, email, and message. We saved the page. Now let's add it to our menu. So we will find it here next to the client area. Under website menu, we look for contacts, which is the page we just created, place it before the client area, and save. Reloading our site's page, we will find contacts. Let's open it, and we will see our form. Obviously, we haven't done much in terms of graphics in this tutorial, but at least we see how it works. Let's enter my name, put the last name, email, and enter a message. I would like to get a quote. Sending the request. We see that the form will have been sent correctly. Framework360 will deliver the contact request with what the client wrote and accessing. In fact, in our email inbox, the client's request will have been delivered. As we can see, here it is. Luca test, new message. I would like to get a quote, and we could obviously reply to him with all his details. But since I use the same email that I also entered in the environment, I will receive both the message and the automatic email, as we can see. In fact, Framework360 sent the company the quote, request message, and the client an automatic thank you for contacting us. As we can see, the link we placed on our dedicated offer landing page will also have been included, so that the client will know that we have received the request and that we will contact them as soon as possible.